This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, founder and CEO of Lighthouse Streaming. Over the last 4 years, we've had some tremendous successes, none of which could have been accomplished without you, our clients, and our viewers. From my family and the staff of Lighthouse Streaming, thank you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Prime Time. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, getting ready to bring you through the prime time topics in sports, not just here in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. What's going on, everybody out there? Happy Tuesday to everybody out there this week. Want to thank you guys for joining in with us as we have a lot planned for today's show. Plenty to talk about as the Indiana Pacers fall 3-2 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who take a lead in Game 5. Tyrese Halliburton injury. What does that mean for the Indiana Pacers and for the rest of this series? We got to talk a little bit of NFL today. We'll talk about some offseason news, offseason moves going around in the NFL. We'll talk about the NBA and some of their offseason things that are going on right now. So plenty to talk about here on Centex Primetime today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today over on YouTube. Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV. I want to thank you guys for joining in with us here today. Or if you're watching with us on Facebook at Centex Sports Network over on Facebook, you can follow us, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things right there on Facebook as well. Also, you can follow the show at Centex Primetime on Instagram, Centex Sports TV on Instagram, and you'll see my name, my tag at the bottom ticker down there at Jalen Gillis. You can follow me on Instagram as well. You'll see all the clips from the show from what we talk about throughout the week. Well, folks, like I said, got plenty to talk about here today, so we'll jump right into it. Joining me here on the show today, familiar voice and face to the show, Mr. PJ Gaither, jumping on the show with us. PJ, what's going on?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Got a lot to talk about today, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things I'm excited about to talk about for sure today. Definitely,
folks. So let's jump straight into it. Oklahoma City Thunder take a commanding 3-2 lead over the Indiana Pacers as they win Game 5, 120-109. In this game, Tyrese Halliburton went out with an injury, but I don't think that was the main reason why the Thunder won. The main reason why the Thunder won was the emergence of Jalen Williams. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, whichever one you decide to call him, had his coming out party in the finals. Only a few players that have ever scored 40-plus points under the age of 25 in the NBA Finals. He joins that short list along with players like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, different guys like that. Jalen Williams makes his stamp and makes his mark in the finals. 40-point game, tags along that with 6 rebounds, 4 assists to go with it. He's played phenomenal in this entire playoffs, really especially in this NBA Finals, in my opinion. He's played great. He's had 3 straight games of 25-plus. Jalen Williams playing at an all-NBA level. One of the only players in the NBA this year, I believe it was him and Evan Mobley, the only 2 players in the NBA this year to make an all-NBA team and an all-defensive team at the same time. Jalen Williams really having a great game. Shea did what Shea does, man. He finishes with 30 again. No matter what he does, it seems like Shea's going to end up with 30 points. Had 31 points in this game, 10 assists. to go along with it. 4 blocks and 2 steals to go along with it, too, doing it on both ends of the floor. Aaron Wiggins had a good game off the bench with 14 points. Cason Wallace chipped in with 11 points off the bench as well, joining the other guys in double figures. On the Pacers side, this game was another game they decided to start coming back towards the end of it. That third and fourth quarter, they go on one of their famous Indiana Pacers runs. They go on a run, get the game close. Was not enough to be able to do it. Like I said, Tyrese Halliburton injured, especially in that second half is when you could tell the injury happened. But honestly was playing terrible the entire game, even before the injury. Tyrese Halliburton finishes the game with 4 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Pascal Siakam led their team in scoring with 28 points, 5 assists, 3 steals to go along with it, and a couple of blocks as well. Obi Toppin off the bench had another good game, 12 points. TJ McConnell was really playing great yesterday. Really been playing good this entire series. Heard some people arguing that TJ McConnell's been playing better than Hallie this series. He's been playing really great this entire series, TJ McConnell, and we'll see more extended minutes from him, I'm assuming, with this injury to Tyrese Halliburton. As of right now, looks like a calf strain. They said they're going to get an MRI on it tomorrow to figure out how serious it is. Is this something he can come back from? All of those things. But as of right now, Halliburton injured, and the Pacers are down 3-2, going home to Indiana. PJ, when you saw the game yesterday and saw the Thunder be able to come out with the win in that pivotal Game 5, what do you think about the game yesterday?
Really wasn't at no point that I thought that the Thunder wasn't going to win the game. They came out really strong. Jalen Williams playing the way that he's been playing. That it's kind of like how we spoke about even before. They played Game 1, where he has to average a good 25 for them to come out in this series, and that's pretty much what he's been doing. I feel like he's been doing even better than what I thought he would do.
Yeah.
And Shea is a consistent 30-point. Like, that's consistent. You're gonna get that every game with him. So their defense, man, their defense is playing phenomenal. They're playing phenomenal defense, like they have been the entire season. So I'm not really too surprised. But the game, it was pretty good. The thing with the Pacers, man.
Looks like we lost PJ's phone for a second. Let's see. Yeah, he was talking about the Indiana Pacers. PJ, I'll get you back in just a second. Finishing his thought, talking about the Indiana Pacers and their shortcomings in this last game. Talking about their game against the Thunder. In Game 5, Tyrese Halliburton hasn't played well. In my opinion, hasn't really played well this entire series, man. It's been tough to watch him at times out there. He's had his moments. Obviously, everybody remembers the game winner in Game 1, and everybody expects him to be able to go out there and do that in Game 1. But it's the other games. It's last night's game before the injury. I know everybody will say, oh, he was injured, and that's why it didn't happen. But even before the injury, I feel like he wasn't playing well. I feel like he wasn't pushing the pace that we're used to seeing Tyrese Halliburton doing in order for this team to have success. I know there's been a lot of talk about him. Is he a superstar? Is he not a superstar? And everybody's trying to determine that. They've been talking about it on ESPN for a couple of weeks now. Is he a superstar? I think he has superstar qualities, but his inconsistency scoring the ball is what keeps me from saying that Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar. His inconsistency scoring and keeping his teammates involved, which we know he's great at, but sometimes we don't know which Hallie we're going to get. The Halliburton at home is not the same as the Tyrese Halliburton that we see on the road. And playing OKC, who is a super tough team, I know that they're one of the best defensive teams, the best defensive team in the league. So it's going to make it more difficult. We knew that going into it. But when you get to the finals, some things you just have to be able to overcome and be able something you have to be able to overcome within those NBA finals, within the finals to be able to get your team to that next point. I wanted to see another great game from Pascal Siakam yesterday. Pascal Siakam did really what he was supposed to do. You look at a TJ McConnell. He did really what he was supposed to do in that game. But it was the other guys being able to step up that they weren't able to do and step up and help his team out, mainly being Tyrese Halliburton. The other starters, yesterday I talked about some of the guys that need to step up and have big games. Haven't seen big games this series out of guys like Miles Turner. Those are the guys that have to step up for this team to win. He had 13 points, 6 rebounds to go along with it. But these guys have to be able to, outside of Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell, who I really feel like have been doing a phenomenal job this entire series, and really this entire playoff, especially if you're talking about Eastern Conference Finals going back into this final series. Obi Toppin has played like a guy that's going to get paid a lot of money this summer. I'm not sure how much time he has left on his deal, but he hasn't been able to get his team over that hump in certain games like this. The 12 points are cool, but when a Halliburton is not scoring, who's going to be those other scoring punches and those other scoring threats for this Pacers team? Different guys have stepped up at different times, like Ben Mathurin, who had a 27-point game in Game 2, like a TJ McConnell who had 18 points last night, but they haven't been able to line up in those games, especially when you're talking about playing at home at Oklahoma City. They've been a completely different team at Oklahoma City, I feel like, and I know that they got a game already on the road in that Game 1, but you take away that game winner, what has this team been able to do at Oklahoma City? Not much. We think about the Game 2 that the Thunder came out and dominated. We think about Game 4 that the Thunder had to come back and win in Indiana, and then Game 5, we watched OKC be able to have the lead for a majority of that game. It's been fun to watch these two teams go back and forth. Before the series started, there was a lot of talk about the two hick towns, I guess, Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers being able to go out there and get to the finals, and how it's not the LA versus New York or the Boston Celtics or the Golden State Warriors, none of these big market teams. But nonetheless, we've got some really, really quality basketball. With Tyrese Halliburton's injury, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to be able to respond after that injury. If he can't come out and give those guys 15 to 20 points, I mean, they're cooked. I mean, it is what it is, man. We see what this Oklahoma City team is doing. We see what this team is capable of doing. If they're not able to go out there and get a victory, if they're not able to go out there and get some production from these guys off the bench like a TJ McConnell, like a Obi Toppin, and Tyrese Halliburton is hurt, then these guys are dead in the water, man. I mean, no matter what they do, I think Oklahoma City is a better team regardless. Whether they were on, whether they weren't on, whether Tyrese Halliburton was hooping or not, the Thunder are a better team. The better team usually comes out with the victory, especially when you're talking about in the NBA. So I'm expecting to see this Thunder team close this one out in 6 games, most likely, with the way that they've been playing, especially with Tyrese Halliburton's injury and what he's been going through. Folks, we're going to take a very short break. We're going to come right back on here and keep talking about this NBA Finals and plenty of other topics to jump into. We still got to talk some local topics, talk about the Midway Panthers winning another 6A state title after their softball team was able to close one out as well. So we'll take a very short break, and we'll be right back here on Centex Primetime after this break.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel. I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for a conference that we hosted here on time. They did what they needed to do, was seamless and transparent. It was great. The feedback, everyone was impressed. So it went out, it was a conference level, so a state level event, and everyone was impressed with the product and the result. We got the DVDs too, which people purchased, and they were impressed with those. It was great overall.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, founder and CEO of Lighthouse Streaming. Over the last 4 years, we've had some tremendous successes, none of which could have been accomplished without you, our clients, and our viewers. From my family and the staff of Lighthouse Streaming, thank you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel. I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for a conference that we hosted here on time. They did what they needed to do, was seamless and transparent. It was great. And feedback, everyone was impressed. So it went out, it was a conference level, so a state level event, and everyone was impressed with the product and the result. We got the DVDs too, which people purchased, and they were impressed with those. It was great overall.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I had to take a quick short break on the show, but before we move on topics here. We're talking about this NBA Finals, the Thunder taking a 3-2 lead. PJ, you were in the middle of a thought talking about this Pacers team and them falling short to the Thunder. I'll let you continue.
Oh yeah, but no, just like I was saying, the Pacers, they got to figure out a way to start strong and stop getting down by such a huge deficit that you're having to come back. You're pretty much playing to come back the entire game.
Yeah.
And we've seen them do that the entire, not even just this entire series, but the entire playoffs. And that's really just how they had this magical run, that they've been on. But against the Thunder, I just don't see that working at all. Just because the Thunder, they're too strong of a team, just as a whole on both sides. I mean, offensively and defensively, they are the better team. But the Pacers, they match up pretty well against these guys. We've seen it just in the 2 wins that they have gotten. They can match up pretty well. It's just all about how they start. Now, with Halliburton being hurt, I don't really know how that's going to go. Definitely with a calf strain.
Yeah.
That's something hard to really play on. Because, you have got run up and down the court. You know what I mean? You're just doing a lot. So
yeah. You watch KD get injured in the finals trying to play on one.
Yeah, so I don't really know how that's going to go. So that really done changed up the entire series. I mean, even with them going back home, they could easily lose Game 6.
Yeah, they could going back home into Indiana to playing Game 6. It obviously gives your team a lot of hope, saying, all right, well, we got one more chance and it's at home to be able to hold it up. But if Hadley can't go, man, this team, like I was just saying, they're undermatched, in my opinion, with Halliburton. Without Halliburton, they don't have a chance. And I really felt like, and this is just to further along the conversation, last night when Hallie got hurt, I don't think they should have kept playing Hallie. I know everybody, it's your star, you ride with your star. Man, T.J. McConnell was cooking, especially in that second half when Hallie went out. You got to ride with the hot hand. Halliburton wasn't making any shots. He wasn't getting guys involved. He hasn't been getting past people, and that's been the whole series. Everybody will try to point to the injury last night. That's been majority of the series. Now, he did have one incredible game, but majority of the series, he hasn't been able to get past guys like that, get into the cup. With the injury now on the calf strain, as I just said, we watched Kevin Durant go down with this calf strain a couple of years ago in the finals. So trying to get up and down the court when your mobility has already been tested in this series and shown that it's come up short, man, that's a tough ask for them to go ahead and for them to move forward with this. If Halliburton can go in Game 6, do you give him his usual 37, 40 minutes in this game, or do you kind of cut some of those minutes and maybe let T.J. McConnell pick up some of the slack in there?
Nah, you got to cut some of those minutes. You got to cut some of those minutes. It's like T.J. McConnell been pretty good the entire series.
Yeah.
So with Halliburton, he's not going. You know, he's not going to be 100%. You really honestly know that he's not going to even probably be 80%. And at the most, he's going to be about 65. You know, at the most. So you need to cut those minutes. Don't let him play all the minutes and just hurt it worse. And then going, let's say y'all do win, but he's hobbling pretty much at that point going into Game 7.
Yeah, and if he does get 35, 40 minutes, 40-plus minutes, like you said, what do you expect to get out of him in a Game 7? You want to get blown out in Game 7? If you do that, if he does go out there, I know at this point it is what it is. It's the last game potentially of the entire season. So you're going to go out there, you're going to risk anything to get back out there with your teammates. But Rick Carlisle has to be smart. That's the thing. I understand Halliburton wanting to get on the court and play. That's understandable. Rick Carlisle's got to be smart in how he's managing these minutes because you have probably the best backup point guard in the NBA. I think probably between him and Peyton Pritchard on the best backup point in the league. You got a guy that can go out there and help your team out. Give him some more minutes. If that's not working, okay, you try Halliburton. Carlisle's done a phenomenal job all year long coaching his team, so I'm not thinking that he's not going to make the right move here. He's a great coach, and he's proven that, getting his team all the way to the finals. But I wouldn't just play Hallie blindly, even if he's going out there and giving you no production, because this Game 6, I mean, this do or die in this Game 6. Oklahoma City right now are like sharks, and they smell blood in the water. Like you could see it last night when Halliburton went down and the game started getting close. Jalen Williams made some clutch buckets. SGA stepped up and made some clutch buckets. How he got a free throw out of a jump ball is still crazy. That didn't help anybody. All the people that think SGA be out there flopping, that doesn't help his case any. He gets free throws out of everything is what it seems like. But those guys are attacking right now. They're hungry, and they can smell a championship. They know they're right around the corner from being able to win a championship, the first one in franchise history. KD and those guys weren't able to close the deal. This team has a chance to go out there and close the deal, cement themselves in history, man. So I think it's the Thunder going to win in Game 6. As of right now, we'll still have a couple of days to talk about it, but if I just have to go off my gut feeling off of last night's game, what do I think is going to happen? Man, how could I go against this Oklahoma City Thunder team? They're healthier. They have the better player. They have the MVP. And Shea is going to be on a mission. Shea knows the type of history that he can be put in if he goes out there and wins this. He'll be one of the first guys, I believe probably the first guy since they've announced these conference finals awards only, a couple of years now, to be able to go out there and win MVP, win conference finals MVP, and then win finals MVP on top of that. He knows he's going to be in rare air if he can pull that off. He's going to be focused. He's going to be locked in going into that Game 6 on the road. So I expect the Thunder coming out and getting the win in this game. Folks, I want to move along a little bit. We'll talk some more about this final series towards the end of the show. I want to switch over and talk about some local sports. PJ, you weren't on here yesterday when we talked about Baylor's latest commitment or latest signing coming out of this Central Texas area, and Devontre Kirkland, man, a kid that we both said we were hoping that he was going to commit to Baylor. Makes that early commitment going into his junior year, commits to the Baylor Bears to join his teammate London Smith, who was committed, the 2026 receiver who's committed, joining Jamarian Vincent as another guy here locally that's going off to the Baylor Bears. What do you think about Kirkland staying home and committing to the Baylor Bears?
That's a huge pickup, and really what we've been saying that Baylor needed to do and what they've been doing as of late is keeping these guys at home. But getting him, man, that's really going to – I feel like with the other two guys as well that it started a wave. But, I mean, you get 3 guys now, or what, maybe 4. Is this the 4th guy?
This is –
I mean, there's this –
yeah, this is the 3rd guy in Waco, I believe.
3rd guy?
That's committed.
Waco, okay, yeah. There's 3 guys right here, man, that are committed recently. And so this is going to start a wave of any other guys in the city, that's in the top, in the ESPN 300 that's going to want to commit to Baylor that's from Waco. They'll probably go to Conley, Midway, La Vega, any of these schools, Lorena, China Spring, any of these schools. If they have somebody that's in the ESPN 300 that's getting recruited, this is a great sign, and I think for Baylor, man, Devontae Kirkland, he's going to be very good for them. Really, really, really good player. I've been watching him a lot. He has, like, his instincts, man, it comes natural. You can tell it just comes natural.
Yeah.
He's always somewhere around the ball, so he's a very instinctual player. I like to watch him play, and this is great for university, man, because I always bring it up just because they had a long, maybe 10 years where they were just down. They were down.
Yeah.
And to see this program back where it needs to be, and where it once, I wouldn't say where it once was, but I mean, yeah, university. I mean, definitely when my uncle was playing with LaDainian Thomason and them guys, they were still a really good program.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
But to see them back now like this, man, it's great. It's great for the city. They're not the only program in the city that's really popping right now. You got a lot of different schools right now with La Vega, China Springs, Arena Midway, any other schools in the surrounding area, that's still popping right now. Marlin, like all those schools, a lot of these programs are really making some noise, and I love it for the area, definitely for the city. It's a great thing, and a lot of these guys are staying at home like this. Like I said, it's going to be great for Baylor, man, because they're going to start having a pipeline of guys that it's going to be hard for any other school to come into Waco or even just the Central Texas area and try to snag some of these guys up. Because not only are the guys in the city, within the city limits are going to Baylor, you got guys in the surrounding areas that are going as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, man, for the city. We talked about it yesterday. Keeping these guys here. Right now, Baylor's two highest commitments, the highest rated commits, are Jamarian Vincent and London Smith. They're from Waco. And then now they've got another 4-star that they're going to add in the 2027 class. Now that Devontae Kirkland has committed, man, it's huge, and it is imperative for Baylor to draw the line in the sand and to close off the Central Texas area and recruit these best kids. That's when Baylor's always been its best, regardless of what of how people think about Baylor. Baylor's always been at the top. Whenever we can get our home guys to stay home, right now they're doing that. So I got to give the props to Baylor for being able to pull that off, man, and their recruiting staff being able to keep these guys at home. And then you got to give a shout out to the kids for choosing to stay at home. A lot of kids don't want that pressure of being I was a top guy in this city and now everybody's expecting me to come. I might have 20, 30 people at each one of my games. Some people don't want that pressure. These guys are stepping up and saying, hey, I'll take that pressure on, man. So it was definitely cool to see him be able to go out and commit. Comes from a good family. Like I said, everybody knows his pops. Cleo runs the Southern Panthers, man, which is a phenomenal program here in Waco if you're talking about Little League football.
He was trying to recruit me when I was a kid to play. I played for the East Waco Lions. They was telling my mom, y'all traitors. Y'all supposed to be playing for the South Side.
Hey,
shout out to him for sure.
No, definitely shout out, man. Like he coming from a football family, from an athletic family, so they know what they're doing. These guys are getting the commitment out the way early, so he can go through in his junior and his senior year and just focus on ball and focus on school. He's already a kid with a high GPA, of course, a very respectable kid. But now he can just focus on ball, and he doesn't have to worry about the 10, 20, 30 letters and reading each one and talking to 10 coaches every night and 20 different coaches DMing you and doing. You don't have to worry about all of that. You can just get that out the way, and you can focus on ball, man. And the university has got a good program that I'm expecting to see a lot of. Had their head coach on the show a couple of months ago. They're expecting to do some things in the playoffs. The last couple of years, I understand they broke just a drought of not making the playoffs. So that's good to be able to get back in the playoffs. But now they want to be able to do something when they get to the playoffs. Got a lot of talent on the team, and it's time for them to cash in with a lot of this talent. So I'm excited to watch this university program. Talk about another high school here locally, my alma mater, well, PJ's too as well. The Midway Panthers, man, as they close the deal, their baseball team goes out and wins the state 6A title in baseball, making them the only team in Texas right now to win in both softball and baseball, especially at the highest level. We're talking about a 6A, winning at the highest level in softball and baseball. The Midway Panthers getting back to that athletic excellence that we're used to seeing. They had some down years in football. Football is what sells tickets. Regardless of all the other programs, football is what sells. When they're having down times, it's going to feel like the school is having downtimes. Now that the football program is starting to get back on track under this new regime, under this new leadership, the baseball and softball program have taken off and taken this to a whole nother level. Midway hadn't won any state titles in 6A in any of the sports. So these are the first two champs in 6A for the Midway Panthers. They're going down in history for that, man. So shout out to those kids for the softball program and for the baseball program going out there and shutting them out and getting the win. What do you think about softball and baseball at our alma mater, man, getting the sweep, bringing both of those trophies back to Waco?
And I'm proud of her, man. I love it. I love to see it. I always love to see our school do good. That's huge. I really don't know too many schools that ever done that.
Yeah.
And to see the softball and the baseball team, man, that's just real. That's cold to me, man. I really love that, man. So shout out to our alma mater, doing big things. Next season, I'm hoping we can go back to back and do it again. You know what I mean? And see some big things, even with any of the other programs. You know, football, basketball, all the other programs, track. I'm just really proud of them right now. So I seen that whenever they won, and I was very excited because we had just talked about that too.
Yeah. No, it's huge, man, to be able to go out there and win in both, to bring back that standard there at Midway. Now I want to see some success in football, man. I want to see some success in basketball, and volleyball team is always really good. It doesn't matter what the sport is. I'm going to support Midway. I'm going to support any of the Waco teams that have a chance to go out there and win. As Robinson, their softball team went out and won as well, representing Waco very well. Riesel was in the softball state championship and lost it just barely in that last game. So, man, I'm going to support any of these teams at any time a champ is coming out of Waco. Centex Primetime is always going to support, man. So I'm excited for their program going into next year. I'm excited for football season and for them to build off of what they just did last season, getting back into the playoffs, having a winning record, going out there being the top of the district. Those are things I'm used to seeing from Midway football. I'm excited to be able to see them do that again this year, and we'll be keeping up with them all year long. And we'll be keeping up with them in the state 7-on-7 tournament at the end of this month. Be keeping up with those guys and checking in and seeing what they're doing. Them and the La Vega Pirates who are out there as well. So we definitely got to shout out to those schools, man. Like I said yesterday, MCC baseball's coach is moving on. Got a job at Dallas Baptist University, which is a really, really good baseball program here in the state of Texas. So shout out to Coach Tyler Johnson, man. Sent us a text and was thanking us for all that we were able to do with this team and helping them highlight JUCO baseball, man. And it was a pleasure to be able to work with you guys the last few years. So we're expecting more great things. The athletic director, Coach Sean Chokum, she knows how to pick winners. I'm not worried at all in the coaching search and who she'll pick. She picks winners each and every time, does a great job of picking coaches for all the different sports. Basketball, men and women's, we know what they've been able to do. The dance team, what they've been able to do. Golf has been successful. All these different teams have been successful. So, and softball as well. So I'm not shocked about. I won't be surprised if we get another championship level coach coming down to the Bosque boys over there on Lakeshore, man, to see the baseball team keep growing and keep moving up. Well, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. We'll probably try to get somebody from MCC on the show to be able to talk some more about it. Folks, I want to go on some quick takes, talk about a couple things while we still have PJ here on the show. One we talked about last week, PJ, when you weren't on the show. This is one that I know that you'll definitely like talking about, man. And Lomachenko, man, finally hanging up the gloves, announcing his retirement. For those of you that don't know or aren't boxing fans, Vasily Lomachenko is a boxer out of the Ukraine, really great boxer, hanging up the gloves. He announced his retirement a couple of weeks ago, man. This is a guy that I know you're just as big as a fan of as I am. One of my favorite boxers of all time, honestly, man, is Vasily Lomachenko, and a name that a lot of people don't know. Don't know him as a household name. But if you're really a boxing fan, you know who we're talking about, and you know that this guy was the boogeyman of the lightweight division. The boogeyman. Nobody was trying to fight this guy. I'm talking about from Tank Davis to Devin Haney, even though they fought and he got robbed in that fight. Shakur Stevenson. Some of these guys wouldn't even say his name. They were scared to even say Loma's name in interviews. They didn't want to talk about this guy. Phenomenal fighter. Hanging up the gloves finally. And I'm not shocked about it. He's 36, 37. The guy's still running away from him. Still not trying to fight with him. So at this point, I'm just going to retire. He's had a long career, phenomenal career that most of it happened overseas. He came to America kind of late. similar to
He's already old.
Sabonis or other guys that we've seen in the past, like in basketball, that come over here later in the later stages of the career. We got to see the end of Lomachenko here in America, but this guy has a long history of fighting and a long history of a Hall of Fame career. When you break it all the way down and the guys he was able to beat, the guys that he called out and couldn't fight, Hall of Fame career for Vasily Lomachenko, man. What do you think about Loma finally hanging up the gloves?
Yeah, Loma. He's been considered one of my favorite fighters for some years now. He's going to go down as a legendary fighter, not just a legendary fighter, but someone to me who's he brought a style to the game that to me was never seen. The way he could, he found so many angles to hit guys at, man. Definitely being a Paul fighter, he already kind of had, a one up on guys because to be honest, in boxing, it's not like I'm a southpaw. It's not a lot of times that people who aren't southpaw are able to fight southpaw. So that's why you see so many southpaw fighters be successful in the game. You know what I mean? Guys like Manny Pacquiao, Earl Spinks, Terrence Crawford, Marvin Hagler was a switch hitter, but was predominantly a southpaw fighter. The list goes on, man. I can keep going on guys who were southpaw fighters who were dominant. But with Lomachenko, man, it was just different because his father took him out of boxing, I think, for like 2 years and put him into Ukrainian dancing school.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. And he's also a wrestler, too, a former wrestler. And so that's why he was so able to just find different angles when you watch him fight, man. He was hitting guys from all over the place, man. It seemed like he was climbing up guys' back, going around them to hit them.
Facts.
But, it was crazy. So he brought a style that I don't think we'll ever see in boxing again. You can't replicate that. And I'm honestly mad, low-key. No, I'm not even low-key. I'm high-key mad because a lot of these guys ducked him. And there was a lot of fights that we were supposed to see him fight a lot more of these guys. And with the Devin Haney fight, I felt like he got cheated out that fight. To me, he won that fight. Devin did no damage. And if you go back and look, Devin Haney face and compare it to Lomachenko's, it was totally different.
Yep.
Even with the Kambosos fight, I feel like he got cheated out that fight. This was a guy that they really, to me, I don't like how American boxing treated him. I feel like we didn't treat him in a way that he was supposed to be treated. I feel like we mistreated him in many ways, allowing these guys to run from him, allowing these guys not be able. When he was dudes mandatory, and they still didn't allow for him to fight.
Facts.
They let these guys duck. How you ducking? You're mandatory. These dudes wouldn't even mention him on Twitter. They couldn't even mention his name on Twitter. They were scared to type his name. They were terrified of him, man. Like, so I'm upset about that. But at the same time, I hope that he knows that it's a lot of Americans over here that really love to watch him fight. That really, for me, man, it's been years, man. I probably a decade now that I've been really following him, and I think he's a legend. He's a legend in my book, and so I hope that he knows that. But I am upset. I feel like American boxing did mistreat him, allowing these guys to just duck and run, and us miss out on fights that us as boxing fans we wanted, and we needed that. But unfortunately, we didn't get it. But at the same time, we were fortunate enough to watch him dominate, and we know the truth. We're gonna always know the truth. So it's never gonna be any smut on his name, as far as in the boxing community.
No, definitely not. Not from this way, man. I'll never try to throw some dirt on Lomachenko's name, man. Loma is gonna go down as one of the GOATs, regardless of how people feel about him. Watch the tape. The tape will tell you all you need to know. We don't have to talk about it and pump up his name. You go watch the fights and you tell me what you think, because the dude is ridiculous when it comes to boxing, man. His style is one of a kind. Had his own unique style. So a career well deserved, man, and a retirement well deserved. Shout out to Lomachenko on finally hanging up the gloves. I want to switch over and talk a little bit of college football, man. Your guy Arch Manning was seen out in the trenches in St. Louis, man, out there in a real trench baby. Y'all forget he from New Orleans too, but a real trench baby. Arch, man, out there with his dude Ryan Wingo. Went back to help out with a community event that Ryan Wingo was having out there in his hood in St. Louis, man. What you think about Arch supporting his team? To me, that's big, man. I like when guys can show that hey, I'll go with you, bro. He the star quarterback.
Yeah.
Arch don't have to go anywhere. He don't have to support anybody's event.
Nah.
He don't have to go do extra practices with anybody. He's the star player. He might be the biggest star in college football. He don't have to go anywhere. To see him still going out there supporting, signing autographs, stayed out there all day. He didn't just show up in the car and say, hey, what's up, and then have his driver take him back off. Man, he stayed out there, man. That meant a lot to see Arch Manning out there in the trenches with his boy Wingo. What do you think about Arch going out there to St. Louis?
Man, it's official. We winning the national championship in 2026. We got hey, look, we got our quarterback. He wasn't just in St. Louis. He was in East St. Louis.
Yeah,
he was in East St. Louis. That's the trenches for real. I love it. Man, Ryan Wingo, man, that was huge. You know, he's one of the veteran guys. Even though he's a sophomore, he's still one of the veteran guys.
Yeah.
So he had everybody out there, man. I seen everybody, man. Colin Simmons. He had all the guys out there. But to see, you know, man, the one thing that I noticed, man, he was so comfortable. Arch was comfortable out there. He was throwing the ball. He was throwing the ball to the kids down the street. Everything. Yeah. He was in the street. He had the all whites on. You feel me? Like in the picture, you know, he got right. His pose is right. Like, man, he ready. He ready. I love it, man. We had him in the trenches, man. He had the whole team in the trenches. That was huge, man, just to go out there and support his boy. You know what I mean? And just the whole team coming out there. One thing I've been noticing about this team, man, they really ride for each other. I watch these guys a lot. I follow a lot of these guys on social media and stuff, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And a lot of these guys, they're always together.
Yeah.
And it's not just one, you know, usually you got the receivers that's always the receivers. Nah, I see receiver guys reposting the linemen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they posting up with the linemen. You know what I mean? Like everybody just always amongst each other. There's no separation. There's no, defensive guys is always with each other and then the offensive. It's none of that. The whole team is always together. So that's another shout out for Steve Sarkisian, though, bringing that type of energy and that culture to the team to show that we're all one. And so that's how you get an Arch Manning to be in East St. Louis in the hood throwing the ball with the kids and stuff, man. So I love seeing. I reposted that today and I said what I said. We winning the national championship in 2026. So we got our quarterback in the trenches. He trench living with the guys. We good. So yeah, I was excited seeing that, man. I really loved that.
Nah, man, to see him, like you said, he looked comfortable out there. Some of y'all don't look comfortable in y'all own city. He looked comfortable in a whole nother. So I got to shout out Arch. Some of y'all uncomfortable just standing at the corner store, man, in your own city. You from here? What you uncomfortable for? City. So shout out to Arch, bro. I mean, the whole team is locked in, bro. It's gonna be a fun season to watch. Right now, everybody's got, as far as going into the college football season, really only 3 or 4 teams that I feel like have a chance to win the national title. Now, obviously, we'll see things change as we get throughout the season and teams kind of get their pecking order. But as far as preseason goes, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, you always got to throw Georgia in there. I mean, it's only a few teams, possibly Notre Dame. We got to see how they replace Riley Leonard out there, and then Clemson, because I think they got the best quarterback in the nation. So it's only a few teams up there. Texas is right up there at the very top of the list as far as talent, as far as expectation, and as far as having a chance to go out there and do it. They got all 3 levels with their offense, with the players, with the recruits, and with coaching. So I love to see it, man. Shout out to Arch Manning and them boys. I talked about it yesterday and put a clip out on Instagram talking about how they had 15, 20 Lambos lined up in the middle of the thing for recruiting weekend.
Crazy.
I said, yeah, Texas, they're not playing fair. They finna show y'all how much money we got for real. I know Tech has been spinning the bag. Texas got old money though. They got money they ain't spent from the 80s still. They can come flex and bring out 15, 20 Lambos for the kids to play around when it drives. So shout out to Texas.
Hey, look,
go ahead.
That's light work. That's light work.
Yeah, that's nothing, man.
That's on slight.
Yeah, that ain't bringing the Lambos out ain't nothing. Wait till you see where these dudes live at and the recruiting trips that they really take them on. They ain't had a camera to all the lake houses and stuff that they take these dudes to, where the real money is at, the real big spenders is at, man. So shout out to them dudes, man. Shout out to Texas for getting it done. want to look at a little bit at Deebo Samuel. We're talking about the NFL a little bit. Got traded from the NFL, or got traded from the 49ers over to the Commanders over the summer. Big time addition for the Commanders, who already had a great season last year, getting all the way to the NFC Championship. There's been some videos surfacing though, with Deebo Samuel looking a little bit overweight, looking maybe a little bit slower in the step. He's been injured really the last 2 years, in my opinion, 2 or 3 years. It seemed like he's nicked up and hurt every single year. Last year, missed a lot of time with injuries as well. Coming into camp, looking a little bit heavier. We ain't got the training camp yet, so that could all change. But just looking at mini camp, looking a little bit heavier, maybe a step slower. What type of impact do you think Deebo can have on this team next year? Do you think that this is going to be a minimal impact, like he's not going to be in shape? Do you think he's going to look like he does right now, pretty much? Right now, he looked like he ain't worked out all summer. But we know that could change by the time they get to August for training camp.
I think he's gonna be good. The thing what people gotta realize with Deebo too, man, Deebo really a running back.
Or a linebacker
like
or something. Like he's not built like a receiver.
Linebacker or something. Yeah, he's not built like a receiver. He just happens to play receiver.
Yeah.
So people they gotta understand that that's not your average receiver.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's what people really they gotta realize that. That's number one. But number two, man, I trust in Deebo, man. He's not a guy. He's not a guy that comes off as someone who slacks or who likes to slack off and stuff. He seems like somebody that's about business, definitely when it comes to being on that field, and he's still gonna be a problem. I think he's gonna do big things for this Washington team. That was a huge pickup for them guys. Gonna be great. Definitely for Jaden Daniels going into his sophomore season, having someone like that where you can just give him the ball and he gonna do whatever he want to do with it. So I'm not really too worried, man. I think he'll probably get his weight down a little bit, of course. But I mean, we in June.
Yeah, we ain't even got to training camp yet.
Oh yeah, he good. Yeah, but I'm telling you, he gonna be out in that sun training, and he gonna burn some of that weight off. So I'm not really too worried about it. He does look a little big, but I mean he's never been a little guy.
Yeah,
he never was a little guy in the first place. So.
Yeah, he was never nowhere near little. Yeah, he's built like a running back, a linebacker, a safety, something that's not receiver. So I'm like you. I'm not too worried about him coming into minicamp looking over a little bit overweight. And then two, he's down the street from where he's from, man. He's down the street from South Carolina. He's been on the whole other side of the coast. He's been at home eating possum and stuff that Xavier Legette be telling y'all about. He's been at home eating whatever he felt like eating. Back in South Carolina, ain't nothing but a little drive down the street from D.C., so he's way closer to getting that home cooking now. So, if he looks a little bit big, that's why. This is mini camp. We ain't even got to August yet, to the regular training camp. Now, if he comes into training camp and he still look like he's 240, yeah, you ain't playing receiver, bro. We're gonna put you at tight end or running back. We're gonna put you at the H. We're gonna go back to high school position. We can't even use NFL position. We're gonna just put you at H, bro. Because you're a little bit big, but I'm not worried about it. Deebo still gonna have a big impact for this team, and what Jaden Daniels, the way that all those guys have been playing, man, I don't got any worries for Deebo Samuel or for the Commanders coming in to this season. ESPN put out a top 10 incoming freshman list on an ESPN top 10 incoming freshman list. 4 of those kids were from the state of Texas, proving once again that the state of Texas has the best high school football. Now I know everybody that watches this show is going to agree with me because most of the people watching are from Texas. But we got the best kids, y'all. Can we just stop the debate, man? Only people I'm willing to talk to is Florida. California, let's cut it out, man. Y'all put out some kids every now and then. It's decent. And y'all always want to say we got C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Y'all got DJ Underwood Lake, too. Don't forget about him. But Texas always got the best kids. Florida is the only guys I'm going to compete with. But 4 of the top 10 guys coming in to the incoming freshman list are out of the state of Texas. Obviously, everybody knows Keelan Russell. Shout out to his family, man. We definitely got prayers for them. As we all saw the news that last week his twin sister lost her life, man, and passed away. So that was definitely super sad. But Keelan Russell on the top of that list, straight out of Duncanville. His teammate that's now at Oregon, DeCorian Moore, sitting at the top of that list. Michael Fasusi, the big lineman out of Louisville, Texas, that's headed up to Oklahoma, is on that list as well. And Devin Sanchez at North Shore, that is headed out to Ohio State, man. Texas has got the best kids, and it's always proven. What you think about 4 of the kids on that top 10 list being from Texas?
I know that was big. Yeah, we need to stop the debate. There's really no debate. If they want to go look at how many guys, we put into the league in this draft, this recent draft, and also go look at how many guys we had in the ESPN 300 that was like top guys. Because to be honest, you could have probably switched some of those guys out for other incoming freshmen that was from Texas. You know what I mean? So now that's huge, man, for the state of Texas. Like we always say, man, everybody knows football, man, it's religion down here. We don't just play the game. We pretty much live and die with football. It's everything. So, yeah, like I said, man, it's a great thing for the state of Texas. Everybody they know the truth. They know that we the best. But like you said, I'm only going to argue really with Florida. I got some mad respect for Georgia.
Yeah,
because they got
Georgia
some guys
too, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Georgia. Louisiana even has a few guys every once in a while that'll pop out. That'll be some dogs too. But I'm really only going to really just, argue with Florida just because they the only state that I really see that can really just go neck and neck with us when it comes to, how many guys is coming out and their production. Florida got a mean list, but we got a mean list as well. So I'm gonna keep us at number 1 for sure.
Yeah, we got the linemen and we got the skill. I mean, and the quarterbacks. That's what Texas is always going to dominate in: linemen and quarterbacks for sure. Florida is going to have all the skill positions, all your fast guys, your skill positions, your receivers, your corners, sometimes your running backs, your DBs. Man, that's going to be Florida all day long.
We can get at them with the running. We can get at them with the running backs, though.
Yeah, we can get at them with the run. I think Georgia probably has the best backs. But we can get right there with Florida and running backs too, man. I mean, it's a toss up. I just don't want California in it. How about that? California, you're not in this.
The California,
sorry to my Cali people, but y'all ain't in this, bro. Let's just stop the debate.
They too pretty.
Yeah,
they too pretty.
Y'all play football like y'all hoopers, man. All y'all hoopers are cool guys, and y'all got hoops. I ain't debating that with y'all at all. Y'all got hoops, but y'all football players play like y'all hoopers. So and it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Ain't no Euro steps in football, bro. So we got football. We right there with Florida and Georgia, Cali. You're out of this. Last one before I let you go on here, PJ. Your Dallas Cowboys coming out with a show on Netflix. They're not doing Hard Knocks or anything like that, but they got their own show. It's gonna be about Jerry Jones. It's gonna tell some of the history of the past. It's gonna show some training camp stuff that the Cowboys got. Coming out in August, man. What you think about Jerry Jones staying in the headlines once again, now coming out with his own Netflix show?
Well, need no show. I had a feeling, man, like a few weeks ago, man, guy kind of talked to me, bro. And I just foreseen that something, some silly stuff was going to end up happening with my Cowboys. And then, this came out yesterday and I seen that. And I'm upset, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We don't deserve a show. We don't deserve a show at all. We haven't done anything. We haven't done nothing since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? We ain't done nothing since the 90s, so I don't see why we got a TV show. Money can buy you anything. If people want to learn from Jerry Jones, money can buy you anything, because somehow he has a show and we're trash. You know what I mean? Like, I just seen an article today. They asking, is Dak Prescott close? Dak Prescott close to being like Romo? And I'm just gonna go on to them and say, I feel like Romo was better as an overall QB. And the reason why I say that is because, first off, Romo, yes, he was gonna throw interceptions, but at this point in both of their careers, they both throw picks.
Yeah,
Romo's picks came from taking chances. Dak Prescott, his come from stupid decisions.
I agree. I'm not, and it's kind of 50-50. Every time you talk to a Cowboys fan, some guys love Tony, some guys hate Tony. Some guys love Dak, some guys hate Dak. I think it's 50-50 every time.
We didn't build a team. Yeah, we didn't build a team, though, to me. Like, if Tony Romo had half the defenses that we got right now, that we didn't have in these last, I'll say, maybe 4 years?
He had the 2017 team, but I feel like Dak has had better teams more than Tony had better teams. That 07 team was tough.
Consistently, yeah.
But I agree, man. It's either hit or miss when you talk about Dak and Tony, man, between Cowboys fans. Dak already came out and said that he wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants that to be a part of his legacy, and he's ready to win it this year. I don't know about that. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Cowboys more and more, saying that he wants that. I want that to be my legacy. Well, of course you do. Doesn't everybody want that? But back to Jerry Jones in his TV show, man. I don't know what to expect of it. I think it's going to tell a lot about the past. It's telling that what you just said was true, that they haven't had much success in 30 years because everybody on the front of this cover is Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, Troy Aikman, and Michael Irvin. Them dudes all graduated high school in the 80s and 70s, bro. So clearly, this isn't about anything to do with current football. This has to be about the past because y'all ain't even put Dak nowhere on here. Y'all ain't see CD nowhere on here. The show thing, and the Cowboys are always a show. I think this is just adding to it. They probably wanted to put him on Hard Knocks, and he said, man, forget that. I'm going to go do my own show. So Jerry Jones coming out with his own show on Netflix. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys is the name of the series. And then it being his Cowboys. I don't even like the way that's worded. The Gambler and His Cowboys, like they just a bunch of henchmen working for him. But, yeah, we'll see what this is about. The show plans to come out August 19th. Jerry Jones knows how to keep those Cowboys in the headlines if he doesn't know how to do anything else. PJ, I know you got to jump off here, man. I want to thank you for coming up on the show here today. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll close out today's show. We'll talk about what's going on around the NFL, talk some NFL headlines, some buzz going on there. We'll talk a little bit more about this NBA Finals as well. So stay tuned, stay locked in with us right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back after this break.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, founder and CEO of Lighthouse Streaming. Over the last 4 years, we've had some tremendous successes, none of which could be accomplished without you, our clients, and our viewers. From my family and the staff of Lighthouse Streaming, thank you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel. I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for a conference that we hosted here on time. They did what they needed to do, was seamless and transparent. It was great. The feedback, everyone was impressed. So it went out, it was a conference level, so a state level event, and everyone was impressed with the product and the result. We got the DVDs too, which people purchased, and they were impressed with those. It was great overall.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis still here to close out final 30 minutes of the show here today. Want to thank everybody that's been tuning in with us here today on Centex Primetime. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like and share this stream that's going right now to help some more people to be able to see this content. And always, you can follow me. You'll see my at the bottom ticket there on Instagram at Jalen Gillis. And you can follow the show at Centex Primetime on Instagram, where we'll show more and more clips of the stuff that we talk about throughout the week on the show here today. Just got done wrapping up with PJs. He had to jump off of here, talking a couple of quick takes, man. As Dallas Cowboys coming out with a TV show. We talked about some of the top talent coming out of the state of Texas and which state has the best talents as well. Want to go over and talk a little bit of NFL here while we have some more time here on the show. Some teams making some moves and some non-moves in the offseason. One of them that has been garnering a lot of attention is the Cincinnati Bengals and their contract situation. They've had some very strange things happen over the last couple of days and over the last week or so with their contract negotiations. Trey Hendrickson, who's been one of the top sack leaders in the last 3 or 4 years, they're now supposedly going back and renegotiating his deal, trying to come up with a deal, but haven't been able to come up with one, even though he's had top-notch all-pro production for the last 3 or 4 years. We saw the long, drawn-out process of getting a deal to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and now we're seeing something that we've never seen before. Their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, who they picked in the first round at 17, has yet the only rookie left that hasn't signed a contract. A first-round pick, supposed to be a guy, a franchise builder for this team. They haven't been able to sign him yet. Why? Because they've added language in his contract that's different, that gives him different guarantees than every other player on the entire team, every other rookie in the NFL. Why would he sign that? For some people, don't be spoiled, just sign the contract. He's not being spoiled. Why would he sign a deal that no one else in the league has? Why are they proposing a deal that nobody else in the league had? What did you see about this guy that you said we're going to give him a different deal than any other rookie we've ever given before a deal to? That doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense when you think about the team and who it is in the Cincinnati Bengals. This is what they do, man. They like playing for no reason. They're always in long, drawn-out contract negotiations for no reason. They pay guys too late when they could have paid them early. They could have paid Trey Hendrickson 2 years ago, a year ago. But instead, they let him keep having high production, top-level production. Now you got to pay top dollar. I don't know what's going on with the Cincinnati Bengals. Shamar Stewart, at this point, could potentially sit out this season and get redrafted in 2026. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a guy have to get redrafted in the NFL before, especially not a first-round pick. It's a first-round pick. They picked him at 17. He hasn't participated in mini camps. He hasn't participated in rookie mini camps. Hasn't participated in anything with the team. He's been there. All he's been there to do is do interviews, though, and say how the organization's playing. He says they want to win an argument more than they want to win games. And I know that probably hurt the Bengals front office and probably were mad about it for getting that type of press. But it's the truth. Y'all want to win an argument more than you want to win a game. This is supposed to be your top rookie coming in. Why hasn't he signed a deal yet? Doesn't make any type of sense whatsoever. I don't know what the Bengals have going on at all. And do we expect this Bengals team to go to the playoffs next year? In a tough division, we know what the Ravens are going to be. We know the Steelers are at least going to be around 500 because that's just what they do. Now that they've added Aaron Rodgers, it could take up to 10, 11, 12 wins. Where does that leave the Cincinnati Bengals? Last year they had the number one offense in the league and didn't even make the playoffs because the defense was horrible. And now your best player on defense, you can't get him signed yet, even though he's had top-notch production. Your leading tackler for the last 2 or 3 years, Jermaine Pratt, you just released him after the draft. You released Jermaine Pratt. Now your first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, you can't even get this dude signed to a deal. We don't know if he's going to be good or not yet because you can't even get him signed to a deal yet. Cincinnati Bengals are a joke, man. At this point, I just feel sorry for Chase and for Burrow because those are two dogs. Jamar Chase is a dog. Joe Burrow is a dog. I even like T. Higgins. But at this point, I don't expect anything from them. Chase just came off a triple crown, and I still don't expect anything from this team. I think Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and I still don't expect anything from this team because this is just because of the way the organization is run is why I don't expect them. They're not even trying to field a competitive team at this point. If you can't get your best defensive player, you cut your leading tackler, and then you go out, draft a guy that you expect to help the team, you can't even get him signed to a deal, you're not even being serious about this season. So I can't put the Bengals up there as any type of top guy. As Shamar Stewart reportedly left mandatory minicamp, still hasn't come out with a deal yet. Even the head coach, Zach Taylor, spoke on it. He said every year you kind of learn something new in this position, and this that the players have managed really well. Even the coach hasn't seen something like this. out of an organization, out of a player. Well, you don't know he can't negotiate the contract for him. He can't make Shamar Stewart sign, and he can't make the GM or the owner, whoever's giving them this bogus deal, he can't make them undo the deal. They got to do that under their own will. So Cincinnati Bengals are really just in limbo right now. I want to talk about another team in the AFC, a team that's dominated the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs. Back-to-back Super Bowl winners, go to a third in a row last year, get completely demolished by the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, where does that leave this Kansas City team going into next year? I've already come out and said on this show, and as we get closer and closer to the season starting, I'll get a little bit more boastful about it. I think the Denver Broncos are going to win the AFC West. Now, I know that's kind of almost blasphemy because the Chiefs have won like the last 10 in the AFC West. They have completely and totally dominated the AFC West since Andy Reid has been the Kansas City Chief. And especially last year going 15-2 record. Teams that gave him some really close games, one of them was the Denver Broncos. I think Bo Nixon, another year in this system, is going to be good. I love the defensive addition. I already love the defense for the Broncos. They got the Defensive Player of the Year in Pat Surtain. Best corner in the league, right up there with Derek Stingley and Sauce Gardner and those guys. Then they draft Jahdae Barron, who was one of the most underrated, in my opinion, defensive players coming in this year's draft. They draft Jahdae Barron. They draft R.J. Harvey out of UCF, a running back that I love going into this draft process to help bolster up their running game with this team after losing Javonte Williams and some other guys in the run game. Still got Cortland Sutton out there, who's a super slept-on receiver in the league. This Broncos team is poised and ready to go. They got great outside pass rushers as well with the Broncos. But for the Chiefs, how do you respond after losing the Super Bowl? How do you respond after going to 3 straight Super Bowls? Travis Kelce, I feel like this is probably his last year, in my opinion. He hadn't come out and said it. In my opinion, I think it's Travis Kelce's last year. If it ain't his last year, it's his last year being good. Last year, he was already kind of mid. I don't know if I have Travis Kelce as a top 5 tight end right now in the league. Another thing that might sound blasphemous or crazy, but I don't know if I have him as a top 5 tight end in the league right now. I'd have to look at it. I know I'm taking Brock Bowers over him. I know I'm taking George Kittle over him. So, you know, he's within there somewhere, but he's not the Travis Kelce that we're used to seeing. Isaiah Pacheco, they're expecting him to come back and be healthy. I like the pickup of them getting Brashad Smith out of SMU. Really speedy running back. Feel like he can fit in this system well. They get Elijah Mitchell, who's been hurt the last couple of years, to help out with that running game. In the receiving game, they get their main guy back. They get Rashee Rice back. We forget. Rashee Rice was the number 1 receiver. He was the number 1 target on this Kansas City Chiefs team before he tore his ACL. Him coming back, Hollywood Brown still being there, Xavier Worthy still being there. The receiving corps could be dangerous going into next year as well. Their line has still got questions, a lot of questions. They still got Creed Humphrey. They still got Trey Smith. But they lose Joe Thuney, who has been a consistent Pro Bowl time on the Patriots and his time in Kansas City. He goes out to help out Caleb Williams and Chicago Bears out there in Chicago. So they lose some guys, still trying to rebuild that offensive line. The defense is going to come back with more of the same guys. I think they have one of the best linebacking cores in the league when you talk about the three. One of the best linebacking cores in the league when you talk about the 3 guys that they run out there, and Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, and Leo Cheney. I like those guys. Trent McDuffie's coming back as well. Brian Cook, now a veteran safety for this team in their secondary. They've lost some guys. How are they going to rebuild this team? How do they come out and compete? Of course, they're still going to win games. It's Kansas City. As long as you're going to win games. As long as you got Andy Reid calling plays, you're going to win games. But I see this as kind of a dip. I'm not going to say the end of a run or anything like that. That's kind of a dip. I'm not going to say the end of a run or anything like that, because every year you have Patrick Mahomes is a year that you can go to the Super Bowl. But I feel like they're going to take a little bit of a dip in their production, man. I think the Denver Broncos really have a chance to go out there and win this. I think the Broncos have a chance to go out there and win that division. Like I said, the Chiefs have won almost the last 10 of them. So I still think that they can go out there and win that division. Looking at the top edge rushers coming into next year, going to be the league leader in sacks this year. Like I said, Trey Hendrickson has been right at the top of that list for the last 3 or 4 years with his contract negotiation kind of up in the air, I don't know if I can put him back in there as a top rusher. The question is, who will lead the NFL in sacks this year? Obviously, I got to start with a guy coming from my hometown, from my team. Houston, Texas got Will Anderson. Will Anderson, I think, is poised to have a breakout year. Our defense is just getting better and better. Pairing him out there with Daniil Hunter, bringing back some of those glue guys that we had on the defensive line like Mario Edwards and different guys like that. I think Will Anderson's going to have another really great year coming out as well. Nick Bonito in Denver, another really good pass rusher, a guy that really stepped up last year for that Broncos team as they were kind of scrambling, looking to see who's going to be their next top guy. They traded Bradley Chubb a couple of years ago. He's on the Miami Dolphins. And Nick Bonito has stepped up in a huge way. The guy I think is going to lead the league in sacks, though, is a guy that I think was on his way to being the best defensive player in football last year, and that's Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson missed half the season and still finished top 10 in sacks. Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is going to be right up there with T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett as the best players in the league. If he can come back healthy, which I think he's going to do, this Detroit team, it changes Detroit completely. I feel like Detroit didn't go to the Super Bowl because Aiden Hutchinson wasn't playing. Just being honest. And I love Philly and all the stuff that they did, but you put Aiden Hutchinson on Detroit, they're a completely different team. I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be that top guy next year when it comes to leading the league in sacks. I think he'll be the best DN next year between him and Myles Garrett, but the Browns are terrible. It's hard for me to put Myles Garrett in there just because the Browns are so bad. It's kind of like when Aaron Donald was on the Rams, and you knew every year Aaron Donald was one of the best players, but they just weren't that good. Same way I feel about Cleveland. Even though they're worse than that, they're not going to be good at all, but they still got Myles Garrett, and he's still going to be one of the top guys going into next year. But my top guy, my top edge rusher for next year for sure has to be Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's going to be that number one guy. Looking at last year's draft, every year they always do a draft redo and try to place different guys different places. I really just want to talk about the number one pick. Do we still think that Caleb Williams would be the number one pick in the draft if we had to do a redraft of last year's draft? Caleb Williams went number one, Jaden Daniels went number two. Not only did Jaden Daniels win Offensive Rookie of the Year, his team went to the NFC Championship. While we got Caleb Williams, we got stuff coming out about him and how he didn't even want to be in Chicago. They start off the season, I think, 4-1. Everybody was saying they were good. One of the guys on the show here, Kyrell, he said he thought the Bears could possibly win their division. That showed to not be true. But not only did they not win, they're in what I think is probably the toughest division in football, the NFC North. Just talked about the Lions. The Packers are going to be really good next year again. And then the Vikings, they're good. I'll give them they're good. I don't know what they're going to be with J.J. McCarthy. It's hard for me to get a quarterback out there that hasn't played and say that they're going to get right back to where they left off. And they won 14 games last year. I don't see that happening whatsoever, but they're still going to be good. I would pick Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. Now, going into last year's draft, I can't say that I would have picked Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams, but I definitely thought it was more of a conversation than what people were having. Jaden Daniels coming out of LSU was dynamic. I mean, he won the Heisman. And I wasn't as thrilled about Caleb Williams, I've said it multiple times on the show, as other people were of him coming out. I thought there were some definite red flags at USC. For one, you just not being good. Not Caleb Williams, but USC. The Pac-12 was not that good. You were going out there winning 7, 8 games in the Pac-12, and you got supposedly the best player in the nation playing quarterback. I didn't see that. They were saying this guy's like Mahomes, this guy's like this guy. I think that was a little premature. Now, can Caleb Williams get back on track? Absolutely. Will he have a better year this year than he did last year? I wholeheartedly believe that because they have Ben Johnson now. They have an offensive guru, a guy that we've seen what he was doing in Detroit. These dudes are throwing screens to tackles. So the offensive creativity is there. They bring in more weapons for Caleb Williams, getting them better guys, especially on the offensive line. I just talked about them going out and getting Joe Thuney. They made some significant changes on their O-line to help protect Caleb Williams. So I think they're going to have a better year going in next year. But in a redraft, you have to take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams, man. I mean, there's no way you can slice it. One guy won 4 games. One guy went to the NFC Championship. It's that simple. I like Jaden Daniels more than Caleb Williams, even going forward as a quarterback. So in a redraft, I definitely think he will be the first guy taken off the board, and that's being Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams probably would still be your second quarterback off the board. A guy that would probably move up the most in that draft is a guy like Bo Nix. I was a guy that said, man, Bo Nix can't play. Bo Nix came out and proved me wrong last year. Now, I know a lot of that has to do with Sean Payton. I'm not naive to that fact. You stick Bo Nix on the New England Patriots, I don't think they're doing that. I don't think he has as great of a season as he did. And there were moments in the season last year that he wasn't having a great season as he was trying to figure it out. You know, we give him grace. He's a rookie starting from week 1. So you got to give him some grace. But I remember the games that they won where he had like 60 passing yards in a game. That's ridiculous. But Bo Nix would have moved way up in that draft if we did a redraft for last year. But the main point is Jaden Daniels would for sure be that number 1 player taken if they ended up doing a redraft. The NBA draft is right around the corner. One of the top prospects coming out is a guy in Ace Bailey who I like a lot. I think Ace Bailey is one of the rising young stars in the league, or that's going to be one of the rising young stars in the league. I would like him even if he went to San Antonio at 2. I think San Antonio is going to try to trade that pick to either get Giannis or Kevin Durant. But even if they keep it, you put Ace Bailey on that team, it's a nice-looking team going into next year. But Ace Bailey is already starting to, I don't want to say taint his draft process, but we just seen something similar to this in the NFL with Shedeur Sanders. Ace Bailey is a very confident guy, believes in him. I still think Ace Bailey is going to be a top 5 pick regardless of what he says. Cooper Flagg is cemented as a number 1 pick going to Dallas, I think. Ace Bailey is right there as far as being in contention for that number 2 pick or the number 3 pick going to Philadelphia as well. So Ace Bailey, man, I just don't want him to get hurt within this process. I think he'll be not exactly sure. It just depends on the team that goes up and trades for him. But the Mavericks got number 1. Spurs had a number 2 pick. They're going to take Bailey or Harper, one of those two. And if they don't get him, he's not getting past Philadelphia at 3. Ace Bailey going to be a top 3 pick. VJ Edgecombe, a guy, Baylor guy. We just got done talking about some local sports. A Baylor guy I think is going to be a top 5 pick as well. And then the Jazz round out that top 5 with the number 5 pick. With the number 5 pick in the draft. So Bailey will be somewhere within those picks. Any one of those guys will draft Ace Bailey. But hopefully teams don't take any offense to any of the things he said within his draft process so far. Some news in the NFL. Antonio Brown, a guy that I believe should be in the Hall of Fame for sure. I think Antonio Brown is 100% a Hall of Fame receiver. Right now he's wanted for attempted murder after an altercation after a boxing match. We all saw the clip of him getting into it with those guys. Apparently they were trying to rob him, and he was defending himself. Something else happened within there where shots started being fired, and supposedly those shots being fired from Antonio Brown. So he's got a warrant out for his arrest for attempted murder. I think he'll potentially beat the charge, but, that ain't for me to say. We don't even have all the details, man. All I can say is praise up for him. Hopefully he gets that worked out and, doesn't have to do any jail time. And Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers to ever play in the NFL. Think about the triple Bs. I guess that's what they used to call them in Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and then Antonio Brown, man. That was a dynamic offense. Le'Veon Bell, one of my favorite running backs of all time. Antonio Brown, one of my favorite receivers of all time. What he was able to do in Pittsburgh, regardless of what you think about his off-the-field issues, is a Hall of Fame career. 6 seasons where he went over about 1,400 yards. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer, man. So shout out to Antonio Brown. Hopefully they get all this worked out with him and that justice will eventually be served. Tyreek Hill in the NFL. We know he's the fastest man in the NFL, supposedly. He's been talking about wanting to race Noah Lyles for a long time. They supposedly set something up where they were going to race. Noah Lyles has reportedly canceled his proposed race with Tyreek Hill in New York Times Square due to personal reasons. We just saw Tyreek Hill on the track a couple of weeks ago, ran a 10.15 in 100 meter, and he held up a sign trolling Noah Lyles and said Noah could never. Now, Tyreek Hill is crazy fast, one of the fastest humans on earth. Track speed is different, man. I'm always going to lean towards the track guy if we're talking about running. Running on the field, Tyreek, you have a skill set that nobody else possesses, how you're able to move in and out of cuts at top speed. That didn't have anything to do with the track, man. Leave Noah Lyles alone. This dude is a champ. He's weird. He's weird, and he doesn't help his case any with some of the stuff he says. I know y'all saw that interview where they was like, if what is your one time you could think where you just really told a guy off out there, and he told the lamest story ever, and no one had any response to what he had to go out there and say. But regardless of what we think of him off that track, man, on the track, the dude is a beast. He's one of the best runners we have to offer here in America. Tyreek Hill, you're not beating him in a 100-meter, bro. I'm just going to keep it a buck. You're not beating him. This is a world champ. You're not going to beat him. That 10.15 is cool. We saw kids running in the 9s already in track here in Texas. You're not beating Noah, bro, so hang that one up. I don't know why they're not doing the race due to personal reasons is what it says. People say, oh, Noah Lyles ducking that smoke. I don't think it could be that. It's got to be something else. It's got to really be personal reason. I don't understand why Noah Lyles would want to duck smoke from Tyreek Hill. He just ran probably his best 100 ever, and he ran a 10.15. We know Noah Lyles can run a sub 10.15. So I take Noah Lyles in that race, but doesn't look like we're going to get that race as it is reportedly being canceled due to personal reasons coming out of his camp, out of Noah Lyles' camp. NBA season getting ready to wrap up. I got Oklahoma City winning. I talked about it at the top of the show. I got Oklahoma City winning really in Game 6. With this Tyrese Halliburton injury, I think it's about over with. The Thunder are going to complete a great season. They won 68 games. They got the MVP of the league. They've ran through the playoffs so far, taking on a tough Pacers team right now. I think they're going to close out in 6 games. But there are some teams that underachieved. Cleveland Cavaliers won 64 games, lost in the second round. What are some of the best teams to never win an NBA title? I've seen multiple 60-win teams, at least in my lifetime, that I can think of, teams that weren't able to close the deal. The 05 Phoenix Suns, 7 seconds or less offense. Honestly, a game-changing offense. We watched what we see now in basketball. A lot of that is done from what the Phoenix Suns did 20 years ago, 2005. They won 62 games that year, lost in the Western Conference Finals to the eventual champs in the Spurs. One of the great series, one of the best series. If you've never watched that series, I will go back and take a look. One of the best playoff series I've ever watched between the Spurs and the Phoenix Suns. Tim Duncan and Amari Stoudemire going at it. Tony Parker and Steve Nash going at it. Joe Johnson and Ginobili going at it. That was a great matchup. That team wasn't able to close it out and win. 09 Celtics, that was the year after they won their championship. They won 62 games that year. Weren't able to close the deal out as they lost to Orlando in the conference semifinals as well. That's the year that Orlando went on to win the championship. They beat LeBron in the next round, and they went to the NBA Finals. 2011, Chicago Bulls. Everybody knows the Derrick Rose MVP season, man. Derrick Rose, one of the most electric players to ever play in the NBA. No Derrick Rose slander on this show will ever be tolerated. One of my favorite players of all time. That team wasn't able to win. They lost to the eventual Eastern Conference champs in the Miami Heat. That was LeBron's first year out there. They brought up the 1982 Celtics. I didn't get to watch those guys. But they did win 63 games, led by Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. They lost to the Sixers, though, in the Eastern Conference Finals. The 91 Blazers, they lost to the Lakers, that Lakers team that went on to lose to the Chicago Bulls in 91. That Blazers team, though, won 63 games as well. The Lakers, just a year prior to that, they lost to the Suns in the Western Conference semifinals. They had a 63-win team that year. The Sonics, everybody knows the team that lost to the Bulls in 96, but in 94, they won 63 games. Weren't able to close it out. They lost to what was eventually the biggest upset in NBA history at that time. 63-win team, lost in the first round to Denver. That Denver team with a young Dikembe Mutombo on it. Mamu was on that team. Muhammad Abdul Rauf was on that team. 2006 Spurs lost to the Mavs, who ended up going to the championship and taking a 2-0 lead on the Miami Heat, who ended up coming back. But that Spurs team won 63 games, wasn't able to close it out. The 97 Jazz won 64 games, lost to the Bulls in the finals. The 06 Pistons. The Pistons team was really good, man. We know we talk about on the show our teams start to get discredited, especially if LeBron beats them. They discredit the teams and say, that they weren't that good. But that Pistons team is really good. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to that Heat team that ended up winning, but they won 64 games that year. The 22 Phoenix Suns won 64 games, ended up losing to Milwaukee. We just talked about Giannis yesterday and his potential trade request. That was Giannis's lone championship that they won over that team. One that hurts me always, man, the 2018 Houston Rockets. 65 games that they won that year. Lost in the conference finals in 7 games to the eventual champs in the Golden State Warriors. Had that super team of Kevin Durant and those guys, man. LeBron had a 66-win team that lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Magic in 2009. And then one of the biggest ones, 2007 Mavs. 67 wins. Dirk won the MVP. I'm from Texas, so everybody remembers that year. It was Dallas everything. They lost in the first round to that We Believe team with Stack Jack, Matt Barnes, B. Diddy, Baron Davis at the point guard, Jason Richardson, a young Monte Ellis. A team that upset the Mavs, man. And then obviously the biggest upset of all time, 73-9 Warriors losing in the finals. Those are the best teams that never won a championship, man. This year, I got to put that Cleveland Cavaliers team within those same teams, man. You win 64 games, unable to close it out. You lose in the conference in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. So didn't even make it to the conference finals and losing that. I know injuries played a big part in that, but that Cleveland team's got to go back to the drawing board and try to do it again next year. Like I said, folks, NBA Finals continuing on Thursday at 7:30 is when the next game will be. Potential closeout game in Indiana. I expect Oklahoma City to be able to come out and win that game. With the injury to Tyrese Halliburton now, I don't know how this Pacers team is going to be able to respond. We said it earlier, T.J. McConnell's got to play more minutes. T.J. McConnell's been playing great in this series. He's got to take off a lot of that load that Tyrese Halliburton has. He's going to have about 2 or 3 days in between these games to try to recover. But with a calf strain, man, it's going to be hard for Tyrese Halliburton to get up and down the court, especially against a young, fast team like this Oklahoma City team. So I think they're just about done now. Oklahoma City with a chance to close it out on the road in Indiana on Thursday at 7:30. That game, we'll talk more about that as we get more throughout the week. Folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on Centex Primetime. Out of time here today on the show. As always, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Also, you can click the bell so you can get notified every time that we go live here on Centex Primetime. Also, you can follow me. You'll see my name at the bottom ticker at Jalen Gillis on Instagram. Follow me on there. You can follow the show at Centex Primetime, and you can follow Centex Sports Network on Instagram as well, Centex Sports TV on Instagram. Make sure you guys go on there and check us out. We have all the clips up. And as always, make sure you guys are going to the website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Go to the website. You'll be able to catch the show. You'll catch the clips, all the action, behind-the-scenes action. You can catch all of our content on our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. It's a free subscription. All we need is your name and email. Free subscription. You'll be able to catch all of the content that we have, not only going in the summer, but in the fall. We'll have MCC Volleyball in their first year of having a volleyball program. MCC Basketball. We'll have some more things going on with football centered in on Central Texas football on the high school level going on as well. So make sure you go over to the website. That's CentexSportsNetwork.com. Get on there. Get subscribed. Free subscription. And you can catch all of our content. Out of time. We'll be back here tomorrow, folks. Same time, same place, right here on Centex Sports Network. Got plenty more to talk about as we get closer to this finals game in the NBA season. 7:30, OKC versus Indiana on Thursday. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Signing off here today is Jalen Gillis. We will see you guys next time. Everybody have a great evening.